Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, January 26, 2023. Big show today: college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL picks for conference championship weekend, soccer, tennis, golf, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with college basketball like we've been doing. You know the drill. We go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. And by the way, tonight's slate is super small. Campbell over Alon, 78-68. Central Con over Fairleigh Dickinson, 76-60. Maine over U-Albany, 81-73. Stony Brook over Monmouth, 72-65. App State over Georgia Southern, 84-74. Vermont over UMass Lowell, 72-65 in OT. North Florida over Bellarmine, 71-63. North Texas over SMU, 68-66. Hofstra over William & Mary, 64-55. UNC Wilmington over Northeastern, 77-54. Delaware over NCAT, 90-71. Towson over Drexel, 70-67. Charleston over Hampton, 107-86. Rider over St. Peter's, 62-57. Lipscomb over FJCU, 98-72. Merrimack over Wagner, 60-44. LIU over Stonehill, 63-60. St. Fran PA over Sacramento, 75-71. Youngstown State over IUPUI, 78-50. Rice over Cleveland State, 107-99 OT. Green Bay over Oakland, 69-59. Purdue Fort Wayne over Northern Kentucky, 68-58. Or 63-58. Bryant over NJT, 70-55. New Hampshire over Binghamton, 79-73 OT. South Dakota State over UMKC, 75-66. Eastern Kentucky over Jacksonville, 79-59. Stetson over Austin Peay, 83-82. La Tech over UTEP, 68-54. Quinnipiac over Madison Mary, 79-65. Little Rock over Lindenwood, 80-66. Grand Canyon over Stephen F. Austin, 53-51. Cal Baptist over Texas Rio Grande, 63-54. Milwaukee over Detroit, 87-71. Oral Roberts over Omaha, 74-67. St. Thomas over North Dakota State, 79-66. Southern Utah over Tarleton, 73-70. WQ over FIU, 105-91. UT Martin over Southeast Missouri, 84-58. Eastern Illinois over Penn Tech, 68-59. Yeoman over South Alabama, 80-66. App Christian over Utah Tech, 82-60. Oregon over Arizona State, 80-61. Gonzaga over San Francisco, 77-72. Western Illinois over Southern Indiana, 73-68. Denver over South Dakota, 111-110 in double OT. Sam Houston over New Mexico State, 79-67. Montana over Sac State, 70-62. Northern Arizona over Idaho, 75-60. Eastern Washington over North Colorado, 77-74. Santa Clara over Pepperdine, 94-71. LMU over Portland, 92-65. Bakersfield over Northridge, 64-56. Fullerton over Poly, 54-51. Irvine over Long Beach State, 72-61. UCSD over UC Riverside, 66-65. Portland State over Montana, 72-46. Oregon State upsets number 9 Arizona, 83-80. St. Mary's over Pacific, 70. Wait, is this right? 76-28. Wow. UCSB over Hawaii, 78-61. And Arkansas State, Louisiana postponed. Only 8 games tonight in college basketball, which is absolutely stunning. First up, you have Ohio, Kent State, 6:30 CBS Sports Network. Kent State, 4.5 total, 151 and 13/20. And we have 2.5 and 149.5. We'll go with over. ESPNU, Marist, Niagara. Milan's Niagara by 2 to 138 in the 20th. And it is 2.5 and 133.5. Over. Iona, Siena. Mine's Iona 2.7 to 141 and 7/20, and it's 8.5, 139.5. I'm gonna take Siena to cover. Manhattan, Canisius. My line is Canisius by 7 to 143 and 2/5. It's 7.5, 142.5. Oh, it's very close. Slight over. 8 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Michigan State, number 13, Wisconsin. Mine's Wisconsin 5.7 to 142, and it's 2.5, 137.5. I like the over. 8:30 ESPN 2, St. Joe, St. Bonaventure. My line, St. Bonaventure, 2.25 to 142 and 7/20. And it is 2.5 and 144.5. I like the under. 9 o'clock Utah Valley, Seattle. My line, Seattle, 4.75 to 140 and 3/10. And it's 6.5 and 139.5. Slight lean Utah Valley. And last but not least, 10 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Stanford, Cal. My line is Stanford 1.75, so 153 and 19/20, and it's Cal 1.5 total 150.5. I am gonna go with the over. All right, notable games for tomorrow, 12 o'clock, ESPN, Kansas State, number 4, Houston. ESPN, BC, Notre Dame. CW Network, Virginia, Louisville. Big Ten Network, Nebraska, Maryland. CBS Sports Network, League High, Holy Cross. ESPN2, Georgia, Florida. 12:30 on Fox, Georgetown, Providence. So Ed Cooley's return to Providence. USA Network, Fordham, Duquesne. 1 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Seton Hall, number 14, Marquette. SEC Network, South Carolina, hosting Missouri. 1:30 CBS, number 7, Kansas, number 23, Iowa State. 2 o'clock ESPN, number 3, North Carolina, Florida State. Number 20, Texas Tech, number 11, Oklahoma. ESPN2, Texas, number 21, BYU. West Virginia, Oklahoma State. CBS Sports Network, Towson, New Delhi. Penn, Columbia. Princeton, Cornell, underrated game. Yale, Harvard. Brown, Dartmouth. Thursday Ivy League, 2:15. CW, Pitt, Miami. 3 o'clock on Fox, Indiana, number 10, Illinois. Fox Sports 1, Villanova, Butler. 3:30 SEC Network, number 8, Auburn, Mississippi State. 4 o'clock ESPN, Clemson, number 12, Duke. ESPN2, TCU, number 15, Baylor. Number 18, Utah State, Boise State. Number 24, Colorado State, Wyoming. ESPNU, Charlotte, Tulane. UTSA, South Florida. CBS Sports Network, UNC Wilmington, Stony Brook. Colgate, American. Sanford, ETSU. We have 5 o'clock Pac-12 Florida, Colorado, Wazoo. ACC Network, Georgia Tech, Vatech. Fox Sports 1, Iowa, Michigan. Underrated game, UCSD, UC Davis, 5:30 on Fox. Number 9, Arizona at Oregon. That's a monster game. UTEP, Sam Houston at 5:30. 6 o'clock. Number 5, Tennessee, Vandy. ESPN, number 6, Kentucky, Arkansas. CBS Sports Network, number 16, Dayton, Richmond. That's a big one. ESPNU, Bradley, Indiana State. Northern Iowa, Drake. LaSalle, George Washington. Furman, Wofford. ESPN2, James Madison, App State. Big Ten Network, Minnesota, Penn State. 7 o'clock Fox Sports 1, DePaul, number 17, Creighton. Pac-12 Network, Arizona State, Oregon State. ACC Network, NC State, Syracuse. UCF, Cincinnati. Air Force, Fresno. Mercer, UNC, Greensboro. 8 o'clock ESPN2, UCLA, USC. ESPNU, Tulsa, Rice. ESPN, LSU, Alabama. UMass, St. Louis. CBS Sports Network, VCU, Davidson. Stanford, Portland. San Diego, Pepperdine. 8:30 Big Ten Network, Ohio State, Northwestern. SEC Network, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. 9 o'clock Fox Sports 1, UNLV, San Jose State. ESPN2 at 10 o'clock, Utah, Washington. ESPNU, LMU, St. Mary's. Gonzaga, Pacific. And Northridge, Irvine. And then Sunday, January 28th is a small slate, too. 12 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Xavier, number 1, UConn. Rice IPY. 1 o'clock on Fox, number 2, Purdue, Rutgers. ESPN2, North Texas, number 22, FAU. Marist, Canisius. Robert Morris, Cleveland State. Northern Kentucky, Youngstown State. 2 o'clock, St. Peter's, Siena. Manhattan, Niagara. Quinnipiac, Fairfield. 3 o'clock, ESPN2, SMU, Wichita State. 5 o'clock on ESPN, number 19, Memphis, UAB. ESPN2, Temple, East Carolina. And 10 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Nevada, number 25, New Mexico. Okay, now move on to the NBA. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's and the weekend's games. Pacers over the Sixers, 134-122. Jazz over the Wizards, 123-108. T-Wolves over the Nets, 96-94. Knicks over the Nuggets, 122-84. Celtics over the Heat, 143-110. Kings over the Warriors, 134-133. And the Lakers over the Bulls, 141-132. All right, smaller than usual slate tonight. 7 o'clock NBA TV, Mavs Hawks. Projections. Lions Hawks 1.25, so 239 and a tenth. Looks like Trey's back tonight, and it's Dallas by 2 total, 243.5. For this one, I'm going to go with the under. Rockets Hornets, my line is Rockets 3 3/4, so 227, and the 20th, and it's 5.5 and 224. I like the over. Suns Pacers, my line is Suns 5 1/4, so 238, and 19/20, it's 4.5 and 243. I like the under. 7:30 Clippers Raptors, my line is Clippers 8 1/4, so 230 and 2/5, and it's 7.5 and 233. I like the under. 8 o'clock Magic Grizzlies, my line is Grizzlies by 1/4, so 2-1, and 13/20, and it's 5 and 212.5. I like the over more than I like Memphis to covers. I would do both in the same gamer. Cavs Bucks. Doc Rivers' first game. Bucks I have as a 12.5 point favorite, so 234 and 11/20. I don't know if it's Doc's first game, but I think it is. 5.5 238. Absolutely love the Bucks minus 5.5. Love it. Thunder Pelicans. My line is Thunder by 1 1/4, so 232 3/4. And it is Pelicans 2.5 till 241. I like the under. That's way too high. And 9:30 NBA TV Blazers Spurs. My line is Spurs by 1 total 230 1/4, and it's 2.5 and 230.5. Very close. I'm gonna do a slight lean towards the Blazers, even without Shaedon Sharpe. All right, Saturday's a busy day. 12 o'clock, you have Wizards Pistons. 3 o'clock, ABC. Heat Knicks from the Garden. Rematch of the in-season tournament game where the Knicks came back from 20-something down in the second half to win. 5:30 ABC. Sixers Nuggets. This is a rematch of last week's game where these two teams played and the Sixers won. And then on the same weekend a year ago, these two teams played each other on ABC in Philadelphia. 6 o'clock Rockets Nets. 7 o'clock Celtics hosting the Clippers. That's a great game. Jazz Hornets Pelicans Bucks at 8. 8:30 T-Wolves Spurs. 8:30 ABC Lakers Warriors. That's where Mike Breen's group's going to be. As in him and Doris Burke. And then 9 o'clock Kings Mavs. And then Sunday the 28th, 2 o'clock Thunder Pistons. 3:30 Grizzlies Pacers. 6 o'clock Raptors Hawks Suns Magic. And 9 o'clock the Bulls against the Blazers. Okay, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's league, which is small. Habs over the Isles 4-3. Bruins over the Sens 3-2 OT. Red Wings over the Flyers 3-0. Lightning over the Coyotes 6-3. Canes over the Devils 3-2. Stars over the Ducks 4-3 OT. Preds over the Wild 3-2. Blue Jackets over the Flames 5-2. And the Oilers over the Blackhawks 3-0. So I think that was best bet. That lost. 4 games, 7 o'clock, ESPN, Golden Knights, Rangers from the Garden. So you have Rangers, ESPN tonight, Knicks, ABC tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. Rangers minus 152, Vegas plus 126, over under 5.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 194. Rangers minus 1.5 plus 160. This is a must for the Rangers. They're home. They play better at home than they do on the road. I'm going to take them in regulation at even money. Don't feel good about it, though. Panthers, Pens. Panthers minus 126. Pens plus 105. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 188. Pens plus 1.5 is minus 225. I'll take the Pens straight up plus 105. 9 o'clock, Kings, Avs. Avs minus 40. Kings plus 116. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 122. Unders minus 120. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 2.5. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 168. For this one, I'm going to do Avs in regulation plus 110. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, Blues, Kraken. Kraken minus 150, Blues plus 125, over under 5.5. Overs minus 134, unders plus 110. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 200. Kraken minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm going to take the Blues outright plus 125. All right, Saturday, 12:30, NHL Network, Bruins, Flyers, 2 o'clock, Caps, Stars, 4 o'clock, Preds, Oilers, Sabres, Sharks, Devils, Lightning, at 7, Habs, Penguins, Coyotes, Canes, Leafs, Jets, 7 o'clock on NHL Network, Rangers, Sens, 7:30, Panthers, Isles, 8 o'clock, Golden Knights, Red Wings, 9 o'clock, Ducks, Wild, 10 o'clock, Blackhawks, Flames, and Blue Jackets, Canucks. And then Sunday the 28th, 2 o'clock NHL Network, Kings, Blues, and 9 o'clock you have the Blue Jackets against the Kraken. Okay, NFL Conference Championship weekend is finally here. We've been waiting all week for this. 2 games, one at 3, the other at 6:30. 3 o'clock CBS, the AFC Championship game. Chiefs, Ravens from Baltimore. My line is Ravens 4.5, total 41 and 17-20. There's a lot of injuries with the Chiefs. L'Jarius Sneed, questionable. Isaiah Pacheco, questionable. Willie Gay, questionable. Joe Thuney, questionable. And then on Baltimore side, Marlon Humphrey, questionable. Mark Andrews, questionable. And the line is Ravens by, let's see here, 3.5, total 44.5. I like the under. Everybody loves the under. Or I'm sorry, everybody loves the over, because every time Mahomes and Jackson have met, they went over. But this is a different animal. This is the playoffs. I know the overs hit in both their games last week, but there's going to be pressure on both offenses. Usually the conference championship games are low-scoring games. I feel like every once in a while we get a high-scoring game, but not too often. So I really like the under here. 23-20 either way, I think, is where we're going to end up. 23-20 Ravens or 23-20 Kansas City. But at gunpoint, I think Baltimore wins. I thought Chiefs pretty much this whole week, but they're not healthy. Although the Ravens aren't much healthier either, but it's probably the Ravens' time. They're home. They're the better team, but the better quarterback is obviously Patrick Mahomes. Conspiracy theories about, because obviously the Super Bowl logo has purple and red in it, which you would think Ravens 49ers, and there's that big conspiracy theory. And then there's another conspiracy theory in this game that is the biggest star in America, Taylor Swift, going to be rooting on her other half in this game. So will Taylor Swift rue the purple and red controversy here? So I'm going to say Ravens win, but I don't feel good about it because it's just hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to bet on the Ravens. Instead, I'm going to take the under and bank on a 23-20 final. 6:30 on Fox, Lions 49ers. My Lions 49ers only by 2, total 48.25. Deebo Samuel's not healthy. Detroit's offensive line isn't healthy either, but looks like those guys are good to go, except for Jonah Jackson. And it's 7 and 51.5. I'm taking Detroit getting the 7. That's way too many points. The 49ers, I think, have proven, especially with last week, that they can win any type of game. And I think this is going to be close, and I think that Detroit is going to hang around. So I'm going to take the +7. No, I'm not taking +290 to win outright, but I think Detroit hangs around. San Francisco wins somewhere in the 27-23 ballpark. I'm going to say 27-23 San Francisco as my final score. I think both these games are really close and entertaining as well. It's going to be awesome for sure. Okay, now move on to soccer. We have results to go over, and we have a busy weekend ahead. We had fourth round matchup for English FA Cup today. Bournemouth over Swansea 5-0. Sorry, guys, I forgot to even acknowledge that on yesterday's show. And then today, 2:45, you have Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry. I'm going to pull that up right now. Coventry +110, Sheffield +230, draw +240. I like Coventry +110. Chelsea, Aston Villa. Ooh, Chelsea even money, Aston Villa plus 230, draw plus 260. I love Chelsea at even money. Love them. Bristol City, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham plus 120, Bristol plus 220, draw plus 230. I like Nottingham plus 120. And at 3 o'clock, Tottenham, Man City. Man City minus 150, Tottenham plus 340, draw plus 310. Man City should win. But I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at even money. Saturday's a busy day. 7:30 a.m. Ipswich, Maidstone United. 10 o'clock Leeds, Plymouth. Sheffield Wednesday, Brighton. Leicester, Birmingham. Everton, Luton. And 2 o'clock Fulham, Newcastle. And then Sunday, January 28th, 6:45 West Brom Wolves. Watford, Southampton at 9. 9:30 Liverpool, Norwich City. And 11:30 Newport. And Man United. Copa del Rey, Atletico over Sevilla, 1-0. We don't know when the semifinals are going to be yet. The Asian Cup group stage ended. Bahrain over Jordan, 1-0. South Korea and Malaysia, 3-3 draw. Kyrgyz Republic and Oman, 1-1 draw. And Saudi Arabia, Thailand, 0-0 draw. The round of 16, I think, is starting next week. So, it wouldn't be shocking if it's the weekend, but, I don't have that pulled up, so sorry, guys. UEFA's women's, SK Braun over Slavia, Prague, 1-0. Rosengard, Benfica, 2-2 draw. Barcelona over Eintracht, 2-0. And Lyon over St. Pölten, 7-0. All right, no EPL till Tuesday the 30th. Mexican Liga from Wednesday that we missed. America over Juarez, 2-0. Since we were recording this segment at a particular time from yesterday's show, we missed out on that game. So tonight, 8 o'clock, Puebla and Toluca. Toluca minus 105. Puebla plus 230. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go with the draw plus 270. And 10 o'clock, Tijuana and Guadalajara. Tijuana plus 145. Guadalajara plus 180. Draw plus 220. I like this draw too, plus 220. All right, Saturday, 6 p.m. Cruz Azul Mazatlan. Leon Santos, 8 o'clock, Monterrey Athletic San Luis, and 10 o'clock, Necaxa America. And then Sunday, 6:15, Union Pachuca, 8 o'clock, Atlas Juarez, and 10 o'clock, Querétaro and Tigres. German Bundesliga today, 2:30 at Frankfurt and Mainz. Frankfurt is even money, Mainz plus 270, draw plus 240. I'm going to go Frankfurt even money. Saturday, busy day, 9:30, Augsburg, Bayern, Hoffenheim, Heidenheim. Stuttgart, RB Leipzig, Wolfsburg, Cologne, Bremen, Freiburg, and 12:30 Leverkusen, Gladbach. Sunday, 9:30 Union Berlin and Darmstadt, 11:30 Dortmund and Bochum. La Liga today, 3 o'clock Almeria and Alaves. Almeria plus 160, Alaves plus 180, draw plus 210. I'm going with Alaves on the road, plus 180. They're playing well. All right, Saturday, 8 a.m., Real Sociedad, Real, 10:15, Las Palmas, Real Madrid, 12:30, Barcelona, Villarreal, and 3 o'clock, Mallorca, Betis. And then Sunday, 8 a.m., Celta Vigo, Girona, 10:15, Cadiz Athletic, 12:30, Sevilla, Osasuna, and 3 o'clock, Atletico, and Valencia. Serie A today, 2:45, Cagliari, and Torino. Torino plus 120, Cagliari plus 250, draw plus 210. I'll go Torino plus 120. Saturday, 9 a.m. Atalanta and Udinese, 12 o'clock Juventus, Empoli, Milan, Bologna, 2:45. And then Sunday, 6:30 Genoa, Lecce, 9 o'clock Verona, Frosinone, Monza, Sassuolo, 12 o'clock Lazio, Napoli, 2:45 Fiorentina, and Inter Milan. League 1 today, 3 o'clock Lyon and Rennes. Fantastic game in League 1. You have Rennes in 10th, but they're playing well. and Lions in 16th. But both, like I said, both these teams are playing well. And Lions in regulation playoff if the season ended today. And Rennes is playing well. Lions favor plus 145. Rennes is plus 185. Draw plus 220. And I say it was a fantastic game because both teams are playing really well right now. But I'm going to take Rennes on the road at plus 185. Saturday, 11 a.m. Nice Mets. 3 o'clock, Marseille, Monaco. Sunday, busy day, 7 a.m. Montpellier, Lille, 9 o'clock, Clermont Foot, Strasbourg. Lorient, Le Havre, Ace 8. Reims, Nantes, 11 o'clock, Toulouse, Lens. At 2:45, PSG and Brest. Both those teams are on fire as well. French League has some good ones on their hand. And then so we did FA Cup already. We have Dutch Eredivisie at 2 o'clock. You have PEC Zwolle and Vitesse. Zwolle's minus 115, Vitesse plus 250, draw plus 270. We go Zwolle minus 115, but I don't feel good about it. Saturday, 12:25, PSV Almere City, RKC Waldhoek Sparta, 3 o'clock Excelsior, and FC Utrecht, and Heracles Ajax. And it's Sunday, 6:15, Heerenveen AZ Alkmaar, 8:30 Feyenoord FC Twente, Go Ahead Eagles NEC, and 10:45 FC Volendam and Fortuna. We do have some ELC, but not a lot. So Saturday, Birmingham Borough is postponed, 10 o'clock Millwall Preston, and Sunderland Stoke. Sunday's only one QPR and Huddersfield. And Scottish Premiership's busy on Saturday, 7:30, St. Mirren Rangers, 10 o'clock Celtic, Ross County, Hearts, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and Hibernian, Livingston Dundee, and St. Johnstone and Motherwell. So that's it for the soccer. Now move on to tennis. We have some finals to preview, but we're actually going to start on the women's side. Semifinals. 12-seed Quinn Zhang over Diana Yastremka in 2 sets, and 2-seed Arena Sabalenka over 4-seed Coco Gauff in 2 sets. And then we have our final. We don't know the time. I believe it's going to be overnight tonight into tomorrow, Saturday. 12-seed Quinn Zhang and 2-seed Arena Sabalenka should be a really fun match. Sabalenka's minus 500. Zhang is plus 380. I am going to go. This is a hard one. Do set betting. I'm going to say Sabalenka 2-1. That's plus 280. I think Zhang is going to give her a run for her money, but Sabalenka will pull away in the 3rd set. Okay, so I did my picks for the 2 men's semifinals at the time of the recording. They'll be going on overnight tonight. I gave out Djokovic, I believe, 3-0 over Jannik Sinner, and Daniil Medvedev in 5 over 6-seed Alexander Zverev. So I think the final is going to be Daniil Medvedev against Novak Djokovic, and I think it's going to be a really interesting match. And I think Medvedev will play well and will be competitive. I'm going to say it's a competitive 4-setter won by the GOAT, Novak Djokovic. So I'm going to say Novak Djokovic wins the men's side. But it's Medvedev Sinner. I'm going to say Medvedev in 5. If it's Djokovic, Zverev, I'm going to say Joker in 4. And if it's Sinner, Zverev, that's a tough one. I think Zverev can upset Sinner. I really do. I'm going to say Zverev over Sinner in 5 if that's the case, but I really think it's going to be Djokovic over Medvedev in 4 sets on the men's side. Okay, golf. We will go over the current leaderboard for the Farmers Insurance Open. So your leader right now is 12 under, Stefan Jaeger. Second with 11 under is Nicholas Hojart. Tied for third with 10 under is Thomas Etry and Matthew Pavon. Tied for fifth with 9 under is Michael Kim, Tony Finau, Joseph Burlett, Aaron Ray. And by the way, Burlett, Ray, and Emiliano Grillo tied for 7th with 8 under. I messed that one up. Tied for 10th with 7 under, Charlie Hoffman, Matt McNeely, Hideki Matsuyama, Scott Stallings, Mackenzie Hughes, Sammy Valimaki, Joe Highsmith, Sungwoo Kim, Patrick Rogers, Zach Blair, Tom Whitney, Chasen Hadley, Xander Schauffele. Tied for 23rd with 6 under, Patrick Haley, Adam Schenk, Parker Cootie, CAU, B.U. Hostler, Taiga Simakawa, Jacob Bridgman, Taylor Montgomery, Luke List, Nate Hardy, Chad Ramey, Alex Bjork, Jake Knapp. Tied for 36 with 5 under, Tyson Alexander, Taylor Pendrith, Francesco Molinari, Carson Young, Shane Lowry, Robbie Shelton, Scott Stevens, Trace Crow, Doug Gim, Victor Norman, Chris Goddard, Alejandro Tosti, Bronson Burgoon, and Rafael Campos. Tied for 50th with 4 under. Dylan Wu, Austin Eckros, Heath Iglia, Ben Martin, Ludwig Aberg, Brent Snecker, Justin Rose, Harry English, Nate Lashley, Kevin Doherty, Rio Hasatune, Max Homa, Minwoo Lee, Hayden Springer. Tied for 64th with 3 under. Justin Lauer, Mark Hubbard, Lucas Griffin, Eric Barnes, Ben Taylor, Robert Brem, Taylor Moore, Will Zalatoris, Justin Sue, Alex Baddeley, Chandler Phillips, Ashke Bahita, Taylor Hogue, Ben Silverman, Keegan Bradley, and Adrian Dumont DeChazer. Among those cut, my pick of Colin Morikawa. I don't remember when my pick to win the tournament got cut early. Vincent Whaley, Andrew Novak, Grayson Sieg, Peter Malnati, Cam Champ. We're going to do the notable cuts. Keith Mitchell, Lucas Hodges, Adam Long, Grayson Higo, Sanjay M, Christian Ziedenhout, Davis Thompson, Nicholas Echeverria, Gary Woodland, Ryan Fox, Roger Sloan, Will Gordon, Matt Wallace, Harry Hall, Sam Ryder, Jonathan Vegas, Ben Griffin, Patrick Cootie, Matt Neesmith, Hayden Buckley, Seamus Power, Victor Perez, Tyler Duncan, Davis Lipsky, Matthias Schmid, Ryan Moore, Chester V, Paul Bargin, Brett Horschel, Joel Dahman, Michael Block, Jason Day, Callum Tarrant, Harrison Endicott, Kyungwoo Lee, J.B. Holmes, Troy Merritt, Davis Riley, Jay Jusmont, Martin Laird, Seb Straka, Eric Cole, Ben Coles, Robert McIntyre, Adam Smith, Nate Wadney, Alex Swoy, Daniel Berger, Stuart Sink, and withdrawing Kevin Strillman. Okay. News and notes time. There's a couple things that we have to touch on that has happened since we last recorded. The All-Star starters came out in each league. So in the East, you have no surprises, really, let's be honest. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Tyrese Halliburton. You can argue Jalen Brunson over Dame. But let's be honest. Damian Lillard's still a better player than Jalen Brunson. But, yeah. He probably didn't deserve to be a starter. But he's still a better player than Jalen Brunson. And that said, Jalen Brunson's better suited for the Knicks than Damian Lillard is. And in the West, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No surprises there. But I would have picked Kawhi Leonard over Durant or LeBron. Kawhi Leonard, I think, was snubbed to be a starter in the West. I think that's their biggest snub. In the East side, I think Brunson was probably the biggest snub in terms of starters. Halliburton absolutely deserved the start. I'm really happy that he got picked. Luka's carrying the Mavs to a winning record. He deserves it. Shai's an MVP candidate. He deserves it. And good on the NBA for not giving favoritism to a superstar whose team is 4 games under 500. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Stephen Curry. But LeBron and Durant's teams have underachieved the entire season too. But Golden State has the worst record among those teams. I think Kawhi Leonard should be a starter, and I would have... I don't know who I would have picked him over to start. Probably Durant. I would keep LeBron in there because he's LeBron. But I would have picked Kawhi over Durant. Only because I feel like Durant is still, like, kind of being a whiner. I mean, LeBron is too, but, like, I would have put Kawhi in over Durant. But it's a very hard call. But I think you could make a case Kawhi belongs in over LeBron or Durant. And honestly, I have a bigger problem with Kawhi not starting than Jalen Brunson. But Damian Lillard, I think, is in there because he's a big name. Not because he's been awesome. Because he's been bad defensively. And honestly, do you know who probably deserves to be in that starting spot? Tyrese Maxey. I would have started him with Halliburton and then Embiid, Tatum, and Giannis. I would have done that. And then Brunson, like, right up there on the fence. Like, I think Tyrese Maxey, you could argue, is more snubbed in the East than even Jalen Brunson. But I would have gone Maxey and then or Brunson over Lillard. But Damian Lillard's a better player than both of those guys are, as I alluded to earlier. I'll pick my reserves next week, maybe Thursday. Kristaps Porzingis, who might be an all-star reserve, sprained his ankle in the game against Miami. They didn't bring him back in the game because it was a blowout. But he better be okay. If you're Boston, you need to bubble wrap him for the playoffs. I'm sorry. Kind of do like what the Chiefs have kind of done with Travis Kelce. Like, kind of bubble wrap him and, like, play a little possum. There's optimism that Ben Simmons could return on Monday against the Jazz. Oh, my God. Like, that's ridiculous. He's been out almost the entire season and has been a 0 for the Nets. Giannis Antetokounmpo says he was surprised by Adrian Griffin's firing. He trusts the front office's judgment. He said, I love the guy. Luka Doncic and a reporter got into it as Luka did not like the report that he asked for a fan to be ejected. Yikes. Charles Barkley talked about Jalen Brunson being snubbed as he says JB made Knicks relevant after he signed last summer. He's right. I agree. He's the reason they made the jump. And they build a good team around them. So Chuck's got a point. So the Pistons talked the DeJounte Murray trade as the talk stalled when the Hawks asked for Jaden Ivey or Oscar Thompson. Yeah, sounds about right. So Doc Rivers' contract, $40 million, runs through 2027. So he is making probably double digit, like $10 million a year, which is insane. So Raheem Morris got hired by the Falcons. So who would have thunk that the Falcons brought back a coach that they used to have and was a failure all those years ago? Like, I'm sure Raheem learned a lot. He wasn't a head coach there before, but he was their defensive coordinator. And that does make a lot of sense. And he was an assistant head coach for a little bit, so he worked under Dan Quinn. And then he was a wide receivers coach. Like Raheem Morris has kind of bounced around. And he was their interim head coach. So he technically wasn't their actual head coach, but he was an intern head coach in 2020. After they fired Dan Quinn in the COVID season. So I think he learned a thing or two working under Sean McVay. Let's see if second time's a charm with a real chance. And the Rams are getting third-round picks in 2024 and 2025 for the Falcons hired Raheem Morris. Is the draft picks for assistant coach thing new? Like, that's crazy. Because I saw that the Giants would get picks if somebody hired Mike Kafka. Like, I know that he's in play for the Seattle job. He interviewed with Tennessee, too. And the reason why Kafka has a reputation is because of Patrick Mahomes and what he did with Daniel Jones in the 2022 season. So, yeah, I just randomly thought of that. And speaking of the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau, controversial-ish take. And I say controversial because he's a teammate of both of these guys, and he's praising one, disrespecting the other. He says that Saquon Barkley deserved to get the contract for the Giants before Daniel. He's right. I said it at the time. But the reason why the Giants gave Daniel Jones the contract is because of what he did in the 2022 season. And the Giants didn't pay Saquon because, let's face it, that's the NFL right now. With NFL, smart front offices don't pay running backs. But Saquon's a different case. I think he deserved to be paid. And there's an alternate universe where the Giants franchise tag Daniel Jones, and he still gets hurt, and they don't end up not paying him, and they pay Saquon instead. And then it's more likely that they take a quarterback with their pick this year, if that was the case. So, Kayvon's not wrong. The Giants hire a new special teams coordinator. So that's interesting. And then it said that Bill hasn't spoken with other teams, but Atlanta job, or at the time, wasn't guaranteed, which it wasn't. They ended up picking Raheem Morris over Bill Belichick, and that might not be smart. NFL award finalists are out. We are going to talk about the finalists right now. So, MVP, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy. Lamar deserves it. It's not even close. You could talk me into McCaffrey. But Josh Allen, give me a freaking break. He lost again to the Chiefs in the playoffs. And I understand it took a hot 6 weeks for Josh Allen to be a finalist, but still. You also almost lost to the Giants. You lost to Denver. So, yeah, and you sucked in both of those games. Honestly, Mahomes should be there instead of Allen. And Mahomes hasn't been at an A-plus level this season either. But at least he still won. Josh won his division too, and Josh did beat Mahomes head-to-head. But Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. But I would have went Patrick Mahomes there instead of Josh Allen. And my top two are Lamar and CMC. Offensive Player of the Year: Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. Good for CeeDee Lamb getting in there. CMC is going to win that award, although Tyreek is my number 2. Defensive Player of the Year: Deron Bland, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt. To me, it's a 3-horse between Garrett, Parsons, and Watt. Garrett will probably win. Offensive Rookie of the Year: a lot of good candidates here. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, C.J. Stroud. I would go with C.J. Stroud. He carried the Texans to the division title into the postseason. And my number 2, Puka Nacua of the Rams, who on any other team is a WR1, but is a WR2 because Cooper Kupp still exists on the Rams. Defensive Rookie of the Year: Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Joey Porter, Kobe Turner, Devin Witherspoon. This is the hardest award for me to call. Kobe Turner was awesome. I wouldn't be shocked if he won. Jalen Carter probably has the best reputation, but I think he needs to be held responsible for the Eagles' collapse. I would honestly go with Will Anderson. He's been amazing, and him leading that pass rush is the reason why the Texans got to the postseason, other than Stroud. Comeback Player of the Year: Joe Flacco, DeMar Hamlin, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Tua Tagovailoa. To me, it's a 3-horse race between Flacco, Mayfield, and Hamlin. But let's face it, Hamlin's going to win it. He died on the field, guys. Let's not forget that. DeMar Hamlin died on the field. And he got saved. And the doctors that saved them are heroes forever. And DeMar Hamlin played not a lot of football this year, but DeMar Hamlin deserves this award because he's alive and he's well, and he came back from something tragic. So he deserves it because of that alone. But if DeMar Hamlin, if there's a runner-up to DeMar Hamlin, I'll go Joe Flacco because of the run he went on to carry the Browns to the postseason. And then Baker Mayfield I'd put in the 3 spot because he carried the Bucs to a division title. Coach of the Year: Dan Campbell, John Harbaugh, DeMeco Ryans, Kyle Shanahan, and Kevin Stefanski. I'd go Stefanski. He started 5 quarterbacks this season. Granted, one of them was in a meaningless game, in a game that they didn't need. But in meaningful games, they started 4 different quarterbacks, and they still made the playoffs. Stefanski deserves a lot of credit for that. And I think there was a snub in here. Todd Bowles got snubbed. And a controversial take: the coach that doesn't belong in here, you could argue, is John Harbaugh or Kyle Shanahan. Dan Campbell, you can make a case for that as well. DeMeco belongs. I won't be shocked if DeMeco wins. Any other year, DeMeco Ryans wins this award. But I'm going to say Stefanski won, DeMeco Ryans too. I would go Todd Bowles 3. I think Todd Bowles not being a finalist for Coach of the Year is the biggest snub of the year. You won the division. You were picked to finish last. And I honestly think Mike Tomlin got snubbed for this award as well. So the 2 guys that I don't think should be finalists for Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell belongs as a top 5 finalist only because you were favored to win the division and you didn't make the playoffs the year before and you lived up to the hype. That reason alone to me, should be why you're a candidate, because sometimes it's hard to live up to high expectations. And then I would take out John Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan. You were both 1 seeds. You were both supposed to be good. And I'd replace them with Todd Bowles and Mike Tomlin. Assistant coach of the year, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Todd Monken, Jim Schwartz, Bobby Slowick. I'd say Jim Schwartz. That Browns defense was outstanding this whole season. I mean, Ben Johnson has to be up there as well. Those are my top two. But I really like the job Jim Schwartz did. He got a lot out of that defense. And I'd go Ben Johnson second. Bobby Slowick third, Todd Monken fourth, Mike McDonald fifth. And I think Raheem Morris, you could argue, belongs in there. I think the Bucs offensive coordinator that just got the Panthers job belongs in there as well. I mean, Dan Quinn had an argument, and then that Packers game happened, so screw him. And by the way, the Falcons passed on Bill Belichick. Arthur Blank wanted him, but there were hurdles. Like, hurdles for what? And then Belichick's future is still unclear, as he's voted as a long shot for Seahawks and Commanders. Maybe the Bills fire McDermott, he goes there. And then Dave Canales is the Panthers' new head coach. 6-year contract, and that's obviously a rebuilding situation. Speaking of coaching changes, NBA, Wes Unseld Jr. fired as Wizards head coach as he'll move to the front office, and the team will look for replacement in the offseason. Wes Unseld Jr. was not a good basketball coach. This move probably should have happened at the end of last year, but they didn't do it. Maybe they get the new interim coach bump and rise from the abyss and pass those other teams in a big way and just be like kind of where Brooklyn is. But they might not be where Brooklyn is because they're probably going to trade everybody. Or they should trade everybody. And by the way, Deebo Samuel limited at practice, if I didn't mention that. NFL confident about Super Bowl grass as league assures Allegiant Stadium field will be ready for Super Bowl after last year's conditions. So that's good to hear. Diamondbacks signed Jock Peterson, 1-year deal, mutual option for 2025. Decent signing for Arizona, another bat added to that lineup. Zavi's safe until the end of the year, as Barca has no plans to fire him during the year. That's not surprising. 4-star edge rusher Noah Carter commits to Alabama, so Kalen DeBoer gets somebody. Former LSU receiver Kayshon Boutte arrested as he was charged with computer fraud, underage gambling related to account that bet on LSU and other college games. Yikes. Not great. And lastly, for news and notes, Vince McMahon accused of sex abuse as former staffers accused McMahon of sexual assault and sex trafficking in lawsuit. Yikes. That is not great. And you know there's going to be more that comes out of that. So there you have it for news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I was very intrigued by one play. Believe it or not, it's in soccer. So I feel really good about this pick, so I'm going to use a $50 free bet on it. Absolutely love Chelsea moneyline minus 110. I absolutely love it. But it's only to win $45.45. So, bonus bet $50. So, in theory, this wouldn't be this would be a little less than a fifth of a unit. So I'm going to do the $50 bonus bet on the Chelsea money line at -110 in regular time against Aston Villa for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back on Monday recapping everything, looking at everything on Monday as well. Have a great weekend, everyone.